my best like achievements were um 5 grand in a week from a webinar. That was actually a really cool experience as well. Like if you see a webinar for that's
I was gonna
crazy.
say, I remember when
And
that notification came in of the, I think it was like projected 50K cash collected by the closer. There's like 31 calls booked in from the webinar.
yeah, yeah.
That was pretty
So
huge. I remember that.
yeah, that was a very cool experience. And with uh, even setting and clo on top of closing with two, I had multiple 1K days, and that just feels unreal because uh, you to remember when I started, my goal was to match my part-time job salary in a single month with setting, and I literally did that multiple times in a single day.
So we're here with Maxim, probably one of
Hey,
our longest standing clients and someone who's actually progressed outside of setting and decided to build his own thing. So Maxim, give us a little bit of an introduction about who you are, where you're from, and how you got to where you are.
yeah, so yeah, my name is Maxim. I'm 19 and I'm from Norway. And I think we've been working together for a little over a year now, right? We started in I think it was May last year.
May, June time, I believe. I think it was like around early June, I want to say.
Yeah, it could be. So I remember like it was yesterday. I remember I actually landed my first interview the same day we started working together, and I got my first role the next day, and it was with a pretty big dude on Instagram too. I think he's got like a 500,000 of followers
Yeah, he
right
grew like
now on
crazy, didn't he?
Instagram.
Grew like
Yeah,
crazy, I remember.
yeah, he was at like I believe it was 20, 30K, and now he's at 500,000 followers. That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, so fast forward, I remember I got my first comms. I think it was on your birthday, Callum, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. It was literally what, if I remember correctly, it was within the first couple of days to a week of actually like you being on that role. You literally
Yeah,
smashed out your first comms.
yeah, and I remember it was I think it was on our birthdays also. It was pretty
Super gas.
cool. Yeah,
Super gas. So I mean,
and yeah, go on.
with that being like the beginning, where are you at now? Like what are you doing now?
Yeah, so currently I just started my own agency, AI agency in Norway, because essentially I got into setting like to use it as a stepping stone, to like sort of build on onto another business. Because and I feel like a lot of people can relate because setting I don't know if many people want to do it long term, but you can like it's the thing that I like about it is it's like one skill and you can transfer it over to anything else because it sells. Because if you want a business, you need to sell something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I say this a lot to be fair. Like you can have the best business in the world, but if you don't know how to sell, then it's almost like you don't have a business because you're never going to be able to get your business behind the correct eyes if you can't correctly sell. And I think that's something that setting really actually kind of drives in the best way possible. Because think of the way that setting introduces different tactics of sales. That is something that's you can put into so many different positions when it comes to sales in general. So, for example, if I think you went into closing for a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, it is.
Like you could absolutely close without setting, but you know for a fact that if you go into closing with setting skills already there, you know for a fact you've already got a head start against other closers. The same thing when you're starting to actually build your own thing. When you have these skills that setting builds up, it's something that almost becomes like a second nature because you've been inside that business so much that it's like you're basically, instead of just thinking to yourself, oh, I want to start this thing, I want to do this business model, right? You've been inside of a business model, you've been inside of a sales team, you know exactly what that looks like just from doing setting. And all of it comes from not being like, you don't actually have to have anything to start setting. And that's almost the best thing about it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because actually a funny story. Right before I started setting, I uh, I tried to like start my own agency in the exact same thing that I'm doing right now. but I was drowning. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was sending cold emails and it wasn't working. And that's why I switched it because, like you said, it's one skill. I can use it. I can like look at me now. I call people. I think I booked like 7 people today from cold
Fantastic.
calling, by the way. So like it opens up so many doors for you, you know?
Mm. It's one of those skills where, like, if you get seriously good at it and you learn how to sell at a high level, whenever you're actually looking to create and actually move upwards into the higher leverage things, like starting your own agency, for example, everything else kind of becomes a bit more cookie cutter, right? So, with that being said, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Tell me some of the results that you've managed to bring in through setting, through closing, through your agency, so that the people watching can get a better understanding of, okay, cool, he was here and now he's here.
Yeah, so we can sort of like put it on a timeline. So when I started, I think I managed to get my first comps was like a few days into setting, like max a week. I don't remember like a max week. I think it was 4 or 5 days. And I believe in the first month I made like it was like almost a grand, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you were one of those people that found success really quick, which was really, really, it was enjoyable to work with you, and the process was really good with you because I remember on our sales call, the very, very origin of this whole thing, you was on edge and you almost
Mm,
talked yourself out of it as well. And it's one of those
mm.
things where it's like if you listen to the excuse that you was about to set for yourself, you know, who's to say that the next year of your life wouldn't have looked anything like it? Because obviously, as you said, you was working at the bakery part time. You was also at school at the same time, so you could have happily just gone down that career path of staying at the bakery or using school and going into some sort of like uni or postgraduate role, right?
Yeah, because like, and I think investing to myself was like the thing that made it, like you said, enjoyable to work with me because then I sort of needed to put in the work to make it happen. And I decided to do that because, like you said, like I live in Norway, like it's a good first world country. I think the average salary is like 5 grand here, 5.5. So I could just gone the traditional way, but I always knew that I was, made for more. I wanted more, you know.
Mhm. So, like, is that something? Do you feel like you didn't want to get stuck in that box, right? You knew that you could have chose the safe path going down um, the school, uni, postgraduate job. You could have gone down that and had success and found success. However, what you decided to do was do the unsafe option, but the option that has no ceiling. How did that feel
Yeah,
for you when
exactly.
you was making that decision as an 18-year-old still in school?
That like I always like knew that I didn't want to go to uni. I didn't want a normal job. So like I think the first time I made money online was like when I was 12 years old, and it was from Fortnite creator code. So obviously, I always knew that I wanted that online money.
No, I respect it, to be fair. I respect it. You guys know about the creator code grind.
Yeah.
Reselling Fortnite accounts. What a job.
Uh,
I mean, no, but it's nice to see though, because like being able to witness your progression. Because when we first started working together, I wouldn't say you was super shy, but you could tell that there was that still, you were still at the beginning of the mountain, Like you
mm,
had a mountain of what you wanted to achieve, and you was still at the bottom, but you knew that, taking the next step and actually investing into some sort of mentorship or somewhere where you can get that like that second opinion or that
that
guidance
extra help. Yeah.
exactly where it stops being such a daunting thing, right? Because you start to understand there are other people in the situation that I want to be, and there's other people actually living the life that I want to live. And when I can learn from them and when I can, get guidance from them, suddenly that mountain doesn't feel so tall.
Exactly, because if someone else done it before me, then why can't I do the same? Why can't I do the better? Like be even better than them? It's
Mhm.
like I think it was Conor McGregor. He said like, why should he fear another man if he is breathing the same air? Like it's the same thing. Like if someone has done it, you can do it too.
Mhm. So what I want to know about you is we've talked a lot about the very beginning of the journey, you know, the
Hmm.
very start, where you was when you started. But I want to know actually a bit more about the numbers and the position that you're in now, right? So what made you want to take that step into going into an agency role rather than say deciding to, start your own community or maybe pushing into set management and running sales teams or growth up, for example? What made you want to go into AI? And also at the same time, how much have you managed to achieve through things like setting it as peak, going into things like closing, and then also running your agency as a total?
Yeah, so we can start off with the numbers and with setting. I don't remember. To be fair, I know how much I've made like exactly off of it, but my day, like my best like achievements were um 5 grand in a week from a webinar. That was actually a really, really cool experience as well. Like if you see a webinar for that's
I was gonna
crazy.
say, I remember when
And
that notification came in of the, I think it was like projected 50K cash collected by the closer. It was like 31 calls booked in from the webinar.
yeah, yeah.
That was pretty
So
huge. I remember that.
yeah, that was a very cool experience. And with uh, even setting and clo on top of closing with two, I had multiple 1K days, and that just feels unreal because uh, you to remember when I started my goal was to match my part-time job salary in a single month with setting, and I literally did that multiple times in a single day. So that was pretty cool as well. And I've decided to take the leap into the AI, especially the AI, not like the setter management, growth operating, run my sales teams. It's a good choice and you can definitely make money of it. But I decided to use like Norway, where I'm from, to my advantage because literally nobody's doing anything here. And I can just basically take over the market with AI and stuff.
So something that I wanted to actually touch back on is you mentioned that there was a little bit of frustration at the very beginning of the journey. Um, what do you think making that investment into yourself actually changed for you? Like investing into Accelerate Scaling and getting the guidance from people like me and Sam, what do you think that changed really for you in that position where you wasn't 100% sure on the direction of what you wanted to do? You wasn't 100% sure how to get to there. What do you think was the biggest change that you saw through working with us?
The biggest change was definitely the extra guidance. Because when you're starting something new, you're never going to be good at it, like realistically. And you always want to have someone behind your back, like giving you an extra opinion, saying to you what to do in certain situations. And to mention that, I still to this day, like an achievement for myself, I still to this day have 100% interview to role ratio in setting. So that's I'm super proud of that.
No, I remember when you first told me that, and I was like, yeah, this guy's lucky. He's just too, he's got some lucky interviews, and then it's just every single month, it's like that's not changed. That's not changed. That's still happening. It's like, yo, this guy's really got something going for him, which was so sick to see, to be honest with you, because it just shows that if you if you can actually have some sort of confidence alongside a skill set, like that takes you so far. It takes you so far when you can actually truly begin to understand how the inner works of setting, mindset, confidence, just gaining general knowledge about how the entire space works, you can use it to your advantage, especially in something like an interview where you've got probably about 3 to 4 competitors at any given time for that one role, but you can just completely outshine them with the correct guidance and getting the correct knowledge to you, and then just putting it into the right words. You just smash it out of the park every single time. Another thing, actually, I
Exactly.
wanted to ask you quickly was you mentioned some of the results you got from like comms and these things. Do you know roughly about how much cash you've collected for clients?
Roughly, I think it's around 400. I'm not too sure, but I think it's 400K USD,
Mhm.
close to half a million.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because it's like you couldn't even like imagine when you was 18, right? When you was 18 before you got into saying, imagine saying that number out loud and being like, yeah, I've like for clients, I've cash collected 400K to a million. It's like it doesn't feel like a real thing to say because obviously it's nothing like you've ever heard of before.
Exactly. Yeah, it's huge numbers to like a normal person. Like, yeah.
It feels like some fairy tale number that you just made up. It's crazy, but it's like I remember when I started to like actually crunch together numbers and I was looking at how much I had made and I put it together and I was like, there's no way. Like it feels like it's a lie, but then you actually do the numbers and you crunch numbers and it's like, oh wow, you actually surprise yourself with it, which I think is so sick.
Yeah, like
Because-
it's so real. Like it's what? Like it's a house, two house,
Yeah,
a
I know.
Bugatti. No, not a Bugatti.
Yeah, exactly. And doing that at 18 to 19 years old, you know, half of the time whilst working at like part time at a bakery and also doing it at school, you see all these people all the time make excuses about not having enough time or waiting for the perfect time to actually take that step for themselves. So it's like not only are you younger than most of the people that are looking to get into this, but you also have more constriction than most of these people, right? And it's something I see all the time where people are always trying to say that they'll just wait for the perfect time. And it makes me laugh because I've got people, you know, that I've helped that have less time and managed to achieve such great results. And it just shows me that if an 18-year-old can outwork you and see through the excuses that they're making for themselves, then why can't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like there like you'll always find time for something if you really do want that. Because I'm sure like every people on here that are watching this have over 4 hours screen time. Like I can put my money on it. And if you do have over 4 hours of screen time, even 2 hours, you can put that into a skill. You can put that in to make money of it. And I remember when I started, I did start when it was towards the end of the school year, and it was what's it called, the exam season, and I still did take that leap.
Yeah, I just think it's sick to see, to be fair, because I don't know about you in Norway, but in the UK, the average 18-year-old, the last thing on their mind is how can I actually level myself up, both financially, status wise, and all these other things. And the last thing on their mind is, okay, cool, can I start a business? Right.
Yeah,
And
and
now,
actually bought a cool car with the money. When you
exactly.
mentioned status,
Exactly. This is another sick thing, and this is exact same with Caden. Like Caden just bought himself a brand new BMW, and it's
yeah,
like this is something that's actually happening for people who's 18, 19, these young ages where you're told to just enjoy life, you're told to just enjoy the comfort and do the safe thing. When in reality, I feel like we're really starting to transition into this period where people who are 18, 19 realize that they've got two choices in life. They can either just go clubbing and go to the town and go to the pub and just get drunk every single week and then go back to their 9 to 5 and then hate life and do that until a specific age. People are actually realizing that they do have free will and they can learn a high value skill and then actually put that into play. and make something of their life from, I guess you could say, a young age. So that's something I think is really admirable of you, is that you didn't listen to, the pressure around you to just go do the casual thing.
Yeah, because everyone wants, like you mentioned before, everyone wants the perfect time to start. They say, "Oh, I'll start after school finish. I'll start in summer." And then when the summer comes around, they say, "Oh no, I'll start after the holiday." Like, and they always find a new excuse not to start, you know? It's like, yeah,
But that'll always be the case though. If they want to find a reason not to start something, they will find that reason because they're actively looking for that reason. Because when it's something like this, where it's again like you've kind of taken stride by yourself and you've gone against the current, as in the current being, your 9 to 5 and your uni and all this stuff. As soon as you start doing that and it becomes uncomfortable, that's why people start looking for these excuses.
yeah, and like essentially, like you find what you look for. For example, we can. If you look up reasons for why sunscreen is bad for you, then you'll find it.
Yeah.
And if you look up reasons to find like you that the sunscreen is good for you, then you'll find it as well. So you just find what you're looking for.
And I think that was also the case that obviously when you were 12 selling Fortnite and selling Fortnite accounts and stuff and making money through Fortnite, you were looking for a way to make money through Fortnite. So you found it, so it happened.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
when it came to you now looking to get into setting, I mean, how old were you at the time? 17 when you were looking at it? Or were you already
Uh,
18?
I just turned 18.
That was it, yeah. You just turned 18. And again, like you were actively looking to become a setter, to get good at setting. Do you know what I mean? I'm assuming at the time, yes, you might have had a bit of friction and a bit of, again, like risk negotiation within yourself. But it was, again, the fact that you wanted it so much that it happened because you were
Exactly, yeah.
actively looking for it to happen.
Exactly, because I wanted to make money online. I didn't want to still be working at the bakery.
Hmm.
I wanted to have my own freedom, you know,
Yeah,
to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to work whenever I want.
100%. And again, it's all out there. And I think it's the craziest part, again, is like the only reason I even know you is through setting. You're from
Yeah,
Norway. Our paths would never have crossed.
yeah,
And
never.
again, like the connections you can build within the space are like some of them are incredibly leveraged. Again, like we have group calls with people making upwards of like 150K a month at the moment.
Yeah,
And it's like these are all connections that we've made just through being in the sales space.
yeah. It's like before you had Fortnite friends, and now you have make money online
Yeah, now
friends.
you've got like Discord friends that make, 10K plus months. It's weird.
It's
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it? I think that's just the power of the whole entire space. Like, it can be so encapsulating being born, especially in like if you're from a city, a small city, or like quite a small, you can get very small town minded. And especially when you've got no one in your immediate circle that's also, got them aspirations, got them goals. It's like it
mm,
can feel like you are trying to outgrow a place that won't grow with you,
Mm,
which I think the best thing about the community within Accelerate Scaling is as well, because it's like everyone there has the exact same goal in mind. Everyone has the same place that they want to get to. And being able to have almost like a hub of people that you can just speak to, it kind of reduces that small town mentality, and it starts to make you realize that there are other people out, and these are the people that I want to surround myself with, because you know for a fact that when you are surrounded by winners, what's the likelihood that you're about to win too? Do you know what I mean? And it's just
yeah,
being able to celebrate the wins together, because at the end of the day, you are literally a reflection of the people that you are around. And when you can celebrate the wins together, it's almost like you're bringing more opportunity of wins to you as well.
mm. I mean, all of it
yeah,
always stems back to exposure. Again, exposure to community, exposure to sales, exposure to, again, probably the reason that we perceive money as being easy is because we're exposed to an environment that has just thousands and thousands of pounds that's being chucked around every single day.
Mm.
And
yeah,
obviously, when you say like
100%.
400K cash collected is big, but it's also not even like touching what it could be, if you know what I mean. Like we're still gonna
yeah.
keep going, we're still gonna keep pushing. But the only
I
reason we have
literally,
this mentality is
yeah,
because of exposure to it.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. I literally worked. It was right before I started my own agency. I worked for a company doing over 2 million every single month. So that puts into perspective how like little 400K can be.
Yeah, I think that's another thing actually going into a bit of a different discussion, but just from that exposure alone, like it feels so outlandish saying specific things like you're 18, 19 doing 5 grand in a week. Like that's crazy talk to the average 18-year-old. Do you know what I mean? But I bet you to you it just feels like another day in the office. Do you know what I mean?
Normal.
It feels
Yeah.
feels normal because you know for a fact that there are other people out there also doing it. But not only for that reason does it feel normal, it also feels possible because
Yeah.
as Sam said, you've got that exposure to it to the point where it's like, as you said at the beginning, if someone else has done it, I can do it too. Right?
And that's why it's such a good place to be in a community with people that are winning. Because if you see other people winning, like even people the same age as you, people younger than you, then you think to yourself like, who is this guy? I want to do the same. And if he can do it, I can do it too. So that like motivates you to go forward.
Yeah.
Maxim, I am super curious. What was it? What was going through your head at the time when you first started looking into setting it as a first point in the beginning?
I thought it was cool, like super cool, because I could send messages from my phone, make money off it, and yeah, like think about it, just send messages on the beach in Marbella. Like it's that's life.
So you'd almost already envisioned your future through setting.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Also, building off that, what do you think is the thing that actually made you like pull the trigger on accelerate scaling and actually and push the investment towards accelerate scaling rather than any of these other groups out there? Because obviously, as we know, there are quite a few other setting groups out there, and you probably had the choices to go with other people. So, what was it specifically that made you pull the trigger on us?
Yeah, this specific thing was like the one-to-one help that I can get guidance from both of you, as well as people in the community that have done like bigger thing than me, that have achieved bigger thing than me. So that was the main reason, the help, the connections, the network, the personalized help for me to achieve my goals.
Yeah, I think that's probably the universal answer from most of the people I ask that question to, because it's like, what more could you possibly want from being in a position where you know you know that this guidance is going to accelerate you in a better way, and then you've got access to these one-to-one calls where it's like you can ask whatever question you want, and it's almost like you're with someone the entire process. So it stops feeling so daunting. As I said earlier, it stops feeling like the mountain's so high, right?
Yeah.
So this leads me to one of the last questions I actually want to ask, to be fair, is what would you say to someone right now watching this who's ready to pull the trigger but's almost sitting on the fence? What would you say?
I would say just throw yourself into it because like what's the worst thing that can happen? Like it's you just if you just go forward, you like if you don't you like that's you will learn setting, you will learn a skill that you can take onto other businesses. You can use it, you can like we've seen today, you can take your income up, you can quit your a full-time job with. So I would just say just throw yourself into it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I I think that's probably my favorite win that I see our students make, which is when I look in the wins chat or they've spoke to us privately and said, I'm looking to make the move on leaving my 9 to 5 and pursuing this full time. I think that's the best win to see. And I remember when you was telling me that you was finally ready to depart from the bakery. You had some
Mhm.
serious attachment to that bakery, man.
I
And
still go there to this day. I like them.
yeah, no, I think didn't you say that you wanted to buy the bakery?
No, I wanted to like in the future to help the bakery like scale to like take a
You
percentage
marketing,
of
AI
that.
marketing,
That's
AI
sick. That's
marketing.
so sick. But that's the reality of going down a route like this is you can actually do things like that. It we're laughing about it now, but it's entirely possible thing for you to do. So
Mm.
I think it's super sick, and I really do. appreciate your time and being able to sit here and speak with us and tell the people a bit more about your situation, your story, and how you got to where you are. The last little thing though, I want you to finish on a piece of advice for anyone out there who's looking to get into setting, who's looking to pull the trigger, looking to just elevate themselves upwards. What's your piece of advice for them? Just a single sentence.
A single sentence that would help a person. I would say just do it.
I think
Just
Nike
do
really
it.
owns that one, mate.
I don't know if we're gonna get copyright strike for that one. No, I agree. You have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Nothing to
Again,
lose.
it's like that what's his name? The guy that does the cold calling for health insurance. And it's like
What's
the Wolf
called
of
Julia? Yeah.
Julian Nasser, and he has the Wolf of Wall Street edit. And it's like, what if you lose everything? What if nothing ever happens? What if again like you don't make it? But then
But what
what
if
if
you
you
do?
do? What if you do?
Yeah,
Yeah. And it always will be the case because again, you can either take that jump or you stay where you are and you never find out.
exactly.
Yeah, I do like to say often that, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing things while still being scared. And I think that's something that really, really matters when you are thinking to yourself, I know this is the right thing for me to do, but there's these what ifs that are holding me back. It's just have courage. And as you said, bro, just do it.
Just do it. Just throw yourself into it.
Perfect, bro. Well, I appreciate you, man. And I reckon we'll probably wrap up here.
Cool.
But I appreciate your time, man. And I wish you continued success.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be a part of Accelerate Scaling. And yeah,
Perfect, bro. Cool.
like and subscribe.
Like a
Like and
subscribe.
subscribe. Brilliant, bro. All right.
Love it,
Thank you
man.
very much, bro.
Have a good evening.
Use it.